I guess introduction, because the first question is not supposed to be from the do that for yourselves. Basically, I don't know who any of you are, so it's easier if you call yourselves. Otherwise, I would know the names for you. That's probably not the best idea.
I'm Daniel Bryant. I'm the president of the Plaid Cymru Society.
I'm Emlyn Pratt. I'm the president of the Labour Society.
I'm Callum, I'm treasurer of the Littlemore Society.
I'm Steve Thornton, the poor man's Pete Dory, as I've been called.
And I'm Callum and I'm your slightly drunk chair.
Wouldn't be a society event about it.
There we go. Cool. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, because that was supposed to take us till 5 past.
Very long introductions.
Maybe you can have a few minutes more on the question. There we go. So, shall we move on to question 1 then? Which I am reliably informed is, are the main political parties returning to their historical ideological roots? And do we want to start on the left?
That's a contentious issue at the moment.
Hang on. Oh wait, that's my right. Shit. Oh. Well, this is
Can we
going
just
well.
move down the panel again?
On my right then. Let's start there. On their left. There we go. Sorry. I was right.
Yeah, I would say they are. I think the Tories are still stuck in an imperialist mentality, an England mentality, coupled with a Thatcherite neoliberalism economic ideology. I couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest. And at the same time, we've got a weak Labour Party with a real ideological socialist as their leader, and we haven't seen a Labour leader get elected with that kind of politics in the past. So the situation we're in at the moment isn't good, I'm afraid, and I think we really need to look for an alternative to this situation. And my message is, I think what Plaid Cymru want from this situation is, we need to give direction to Wales, so we can break away from this model, and we can all work together to make a better country and have a more tolerant and open type of politics, rather than the politics that we see in Westminster, that's been stuck in the past for decades now. So yeah, I think we need to move on from this. But yeah, the party is definitely stuck with old ideologies.
Can I just clarify? Do you not therefore think that Plaid Cymru is stuck in its
No, definitely not.
ideology, or do you think you've moved on?
Yeah, we've moved on. We've achieved some of the aspirations we first had as a party. We've since had devolution. That was a big goal for us in the past, and we've had some. We've won some things over the Welsh language, etc. But so yeah, I think we've achieved some things.
Well, I'd say yes, there is a sort of moving towards the historical ideological roots. I'll try and put a little bit of more positive spin on it, particularly from a Labour perspective. But I think we're seeing a Conservative Party now anyway that's kind of retreating to a comfort zone and talking about Europe and immigration and not the issues that affect a great deal of people in this country. Is sort of a right-wing comfort zone is sort of becoming UKIP light in recent years, which is, I think, quite worrying, sort of, well, for all of us that don't share that ideology, and it's sort of worrying that they have retreated to that comfort zone. I think for a few years there was a kind of argument that the main parties in Britain were sort of, the 3 main national parties were very similar, and I think that was perhaps overstated a bit, but we are seeing a move away now from that kind of consensus, and I think it's worrying that the Conservatives are in government and moving towards the right, as has been alluded to. I won't use quite the same terms, but the Labour Party has elected Jeremy Corbyn as leader, and it's sort of a return to a more socialist ideals, but I don't think, again, I think it's kind of easy to overplay that a bit, and there has been a demand for an end of this sort of consensus politics around the three main parties diverging quite a lot in the centre ground. and that there is an alternative there. I think, you know, Labour, from our perspective, is having a bit of a debate at the minute about what direction it takes. It's looking for new ideas and an alternative to the sort of UKIP light that the Tories are offering. As well, I think that those of us on the left now do need to work together somewhat to counter these arguments. It's good to see in Wales that Plaid Cymru and Labour are working together on Brexit. Leanne Wood and Cardiff Jones making sort of a joint statement and trying to sort of work together to target that, so that it's in Wales' interest, and we can hopefully get, you know, Brexit that's more suited to Wales. And, you know, I think it's up to us to sometimes put the sort of party labels behind us and look at our ideology and what we kind of believe in, and fight a lot of this sort of dominant right-wing trend that we've got at the minute.
I think parties are definitely moving, I don't think they're moving backwards. I think they're all trying to evolve in a certain way. The Tories, I wouldn't say they're very Thatcherite. I'd say Theresa May is definitely trying to be more Disraeli. It's sort of, we're the party of the working people, we'll help you, we'll intervene in markets. It's not complete free market liberalism. Plaid have definitely moved because they've shifted, especially since the Welsh Assembly, to be very much more pro-independence rather than Welsh nationalism in a sense. It's a lot more divisive, and you see that with the way Leanne Wood does sort of work with Labour, but then she doesn't. She sort of flip-flops a little bit back and forth. Labour are definitely moving back to their old comfort zone, but it's old solutions to sort of new problems. You don't solve the same problems with solutions that might have looked nice 50 years ago. And with parties like UKIP, they fuel off these other parties being very similar and having the same sort of views and not pushing what people want. Labour's trying to connect to their grassroots, but as you saw, they're very divided. Some of them are very pro-Europe, some of them are very anti, and Labour can't seem to strike a balance between that. And that's a divide between the old and new, obviously. And especially parties like mine, we're still kind of in between as well, with some people being more sympathetic towards old liberalism and some being more social democratic. And I feel like parties are trying to find a way to move from the old to the new. David Cameron tried this with the Tories. He tried to get them new and modern and nice, compassionate Tories, and didn't work out too well when backbenchers didn't like him. So I'd say they're definitely moving, but whether they're moving backwards to their old ideologies, I don't know.
Okay. We were saying, obviously, with the Conservatives going back to Thatcherite. I mean, obviously, I can go back further than that. And originally, I mean, conservatism is generally fairly anti-ideology, relatively pragmatic most of the time. Clearly, the 1980s was something of an exception. What is May? That's the question. What is Mayism? Is there a Mayism? There was an interesting interview in the New Statesman, and she said, she was asked directly, are you a Thatcherite or a one-nation Tory? She replied, I would say I'm a Conservative. I don't try to put extra labels on this. Edmund Burke, put it very well. I don't remember the exact phrase he used, but if you believe in something and you want to protect it, actually you have to be willing to change it. Which is extremely old school conservatism, going back as far as Edmund Burke, which is the 18th century. Also interesting from Theresa May, she seems to be moving away from, I suppose, Cameron and indeed Thatcher's complete disdain, not complete disdain for the state, that's too strong.
No,
She's, yeah, I mean, certainly with Thatcher, no such thing as society and all that kind of stuff. But she does seem a little bit keener on state intervention than perhaps most of her predecessors. And that is interesting. I think some people have suggested that she's interested in the work of Joseph Chamberlain, early 20th century. So an interesting figure. Obviously it's too early to say exactly where this is going to be heading. But I think it is, she is different. We'll see. Labour, of course, Corbyn, I suspect this is where the question came from. It's to some extent. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I suppose you've got the issue of the Labour Party membership, and the Labour Party MPs, and you've got the Labour Party in general, and you've got Corbyn, the leadership. I mean, clearly, the membership and Corbyn more socialist. He's a little bit fuzzy on what he means by socialism. Again, I have a quote. When asked what he thought socialism is, he said, it's an obvious way of living. You care for each other, you care for everybody, and everyone cares for everybody else. It's obvious, isn't it? He said. Which is fine and dandy and lovely and etc. Is it actually socialism? And thus far, the actual policy seems to be more mainstream Keynesianism than perhaps old school socialism. I don't think he's really attacking capitalism in a major way. But it is, again, too early to say. I mean, he's not really in a position to put detailed policy out there. It would be unwise to do so. So again, it's a wait and see moment. It's an exciting time, let's be honest. Things are up in the air. We shall see. Lib Dems,